Hi, this is Dr. Sandra Laura Kramers from Visionary Eye Doctors, and I want to go through some cataract surgical options. Years ago, there was really no choice. Everyone got the same type of lens, the same type of surgery, and now there's many options. I want to go through this, and this is not meant to overwhelm you, but to try to give you an idea of what's available. So years ago, we only had really what's called basic phacoemulsification, which is a type of energy that is used to remove the cataract. And as I've mentioned before, the cataract is kind of like a pillow in an enclosed pillowcase. And during surgery, we take the top part of the pillowcase off. We take out the cataract, and the goal of most surgeries is to keep the back part of the pillowcase or the posterior capsule intact. And so before, phacoemulsification did that, but there was an increased risk of breaking the capsule. With the new technology called laser cataract surgery or femtosecond laser cataract surgery, there's many kinds. The one we use is called Catalyst. It's a particular type of machine that provides that femtosecond laser technology. It cuts that pillow or the cataract or the nucleus of the cataract into many pieces to decrease the amount of total energy we need from the phacoemulsification unit. So basically, this catalyst makes the surgery safer, it increases recovery time in our experience, and it does decrease endothelial cell loss from what we've seen in papers. The downside is the extra cost. So your insurance covers the majority of the surgery, but it will not cover the extra femtosecond laser cataract surgery. It will only cover the basic phacoemulsification, which we use after the laser femtosecond is used to break open the front part of the capsule, break the lens into pieces, and then we take out the nucleus with the phacoemulsification. So this is an extra cost, but it's worth it. It's an investment in your eyes. It costs less than half the price of a hearing aid. It usually costs about 3 to 6 months of cable TV. So for most patients, it's definitely worth it because it's a long-term investment in the health of your eye. The next big question you have is what kind of implant you need to put in. So years ago we had only one choice, which was basically monofocal or basic implants, which was a single focus lens, meaning you could choose to see distance, or you could choose to see reading, or you could choose to see computer in terms of a clarity of vision, assuming you don't have astigmatism, which we'll go into in just a few minutes. But now these implants let you see multiple distances without the need for glasses. Now granted, there's not a 100% guarantee with any of these lenses, but it's the best time in history to have these implants because patients are having 97% chance of being glasses free, which is exciting because years ago with the even if you choose the monofocal, you're probably going to need glasses for something guaranteed. About 100% of patients, if they choose a monofocal, usually will need glasses for distance, intermediate, and reading. But if you choose one of the innovative technologies, then your chances of not needing glasses is close to 97-98% depending on the implant you choose and depending on what kind of profession you have. So those are the categories. Let me go a little bit more into the options for these premium lenses, these extra wonderful lenses that are no longer basic but are a little bit more advanced technology. The first one is called a depth of focus lens. The first one to come out is called the Symphony, and the Symphony kind of looks like this. We have it, we printed out a little example. The Symphony is a depth of focus lens. So what we had before is called multifocal lenses, and I'll just do show and tell here for you. So this is a monofocal lens, which basically just has a plain acrylic usually or silicone, and it just has one type of focus available, and this is a multifocal, so the different rings give you different distances. The downside of the multifocals is that sometimes it can give you halos and glare, and the monofocal doesn't really give you any increased halos and glare. The depth of focus lens, which we don't have a sample of that per se, but just a picture, has not really these rings so much as kind of an alteration in the structure, so the halos and glare are no more noticeable than a monofocal lens, which is great. So if you're a nighttime driver or halos and glare really bother you, you would definitely choose a Symphony or a crystal lens. A crystal lens is kind of like a monofocal that doesn't have any rings, and it moves inside the eye, which is located here. And I'll go through that in just a second. So the Symphony right now is the best implant because it does correct for astigmatism. At the same time, there's really no increased halos and glare. There's been more than 2,000 patients that have had it in the United States have been very happy. That does not split the lights. You're not going to have halos and glare. Your chance of being glasses free is more than 97% with the Symphony if you have the astigmatism completely corrected, and that's what the Symphony can do. So we've had great results. It's still not 100%, but it's the best lens so far. That's a lens I would choose for my own eye or for my children or my parents. The downside is the cost, so the insurance doesn't cover that extra cost. The multifocal works still well for many patients. There's many patients that have it. If you know that you want to be reading, you want to do a lot of reading, but you want to be able to see distance, we'll choose one multifocal that gives you better reading than distance, for instance. So there's a lot of options with multifocals, such as the Technis and the Restore, and each one's a little different. And this sheet is on my blog if you want to just go through the actual statistics of what each one provides in terms of vision and probabilities in terms of their studies. The last category is called accommodating, which is the Crystalens and TrueLine. These are for patients that have any type of macular problems. For instance, if you have something called an epiretinal membrane or a membrane on the macula or drusen or something that makes the macula not work that great, or if you've previously had LASIK surgery, we feel the crystal lens, which has no increased aberrations, are usually the best way to go. They'll give you some reading, computer distance, but it won't affect the glare or halos that you can get with multifocal. Crystal lens is one of those procedures that I've done many of them, have had many happy patients. The downside is that sometimes the reading decreases as you go with time. So as the eye changes or the implant starts to really get into place, then sometimes the ability to read will decrease. So that's the downside of the crystal lens in general. But it does have the TrueLine, which corrects for astigmatism also. These current multifocals, Technis and Restore, do not correct for astigmatism. The last question we always ask is, do you have astigmatism? And if you do, we address it, either with a toric lens, which is a astigmatism correcting lens specifically to correct the astigmatism and the distance, or a limbal relaxing incision where we make a cut in the cornea to decrease your astigmatism. But the best way are really through the implants. That's why I love Symphony and the Symphony Toric, which corrects for astigmatism, or the TrueLine, which also corrects for astigmatism. So those are the key things I want to point out to you so you can make an informed decision. I have all this on my blog, and hopefully that will help. Thank you.